I don't think there's one necessarily over the Verrazano Bridge. I don't think that, I don't.
It's hard to really describe it. I see the lights, the red and green, blinking on and off. They're pretty high. Some of them are low. I saw quite a few of them last night. And they're mostly in this water area that I see. I live right here.
How large are they?
It's hard to tell.
And do they look different than a regular recreational drone?
Yeah, a little bit.
In what way?
They look a little bigger than I have a recreational drone, so they look a little bigger than the recreational drone. But it's hard to tell the exact dimensions or size.
And how high were they?
Hover? Do they lower? Do they go direction?
I've seen.
What time of day did you see them?
This was around 5:30, 6 o'clock yesterday evening. I see them mostly on the shoreline here. On the shoreline. A couple of them are different heights. And yesterday I drove into the fort to try to follow one, and it went south toward the South Shore.
Did you watch them long enough for you to see them leave to a certain area?
I just saw this one yesterday fly toward the South Shore, and I lost it in the trees. So.
And at that point, did you make a call? Did you call 911 or 311?
No, I didn't. I didn't, truthfully.
About the FAA regulations. Commercial drones cannot operate half an hour after sunset and then until sunrise. So right there you see that this is a violation of FAA regulations, which that's why I believe it's either our government or a foreign nexus that's operating these drones. And if it's not, then we really need the FAA and Department of Homeland Security to step up here, because there's a clear violation.
Has anyone reached out to the FAA?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
When
did you reach out to them? What are they telling you?
We reached out last week after the first sighting on Staten Island, because we were informed that both the FBI and FAA were investigating at least the drones that were sighted, or aircraft in New Jersey. And in light of the fact that they were spotted on Staten Island, we asked that the Staten Island be included in those investigations.
And that flight restrictions be imposed over I requested that flight restrictions be imposed over these sensitive facilities. And, quite frankly, I got a cookie-cutter response I'm not happy with. At the time that people were observing these drones, there were planes that had passed. However, I raised the question then, drones operate at 400 feet or less. The planes, in order for them to be visible, begin at 1,000 feet in the flight plan. So there's somewhat of a discrepancy there, because a lot of people are reporting viewing these aerial devices at a very low altitude. And so I'm not sure that the flight plan would be able to pick up, number one, those drones, unless they are actual airplanes that are above the 1,000. It could be, it could be both. And so I think that could be an answer for some of the objects that have been seen, because it's hard. Sometimes at night, particularly, it's very hard to tell the difference or what exactly it is. But some are very obvious that they're drones and they're operating at a very low altitude, which, if it's recreational, commercial, would be a violation of the FAA regulations. So they need to crack down on it if that's the case. That's why I believe that this is either our government or a foreign government that is operating these systems, because it does not make sense that it would be commercial or recreational. And that's just my assessment, without getting any real answers from the agencies that were participating. You had Department of Homeland Security, you had FAA, you had the DOD, and this was the best that they could provide us during yesterday's briefing call.
And let me just add, frankly, I was told from someone in law enforcement 2 weeks ago that they were tracking drones, that this person that I spoke to saw 10 himself. So that's why when they say they're all manned, I have to unfortunately disagree. I have not seen one, but literally this morning, my neighbor up the block sent us a video of a drone hovering above our house last night. And we've seen a lot of, I think everybody could speak here independently if they want. We've seen videos of people sending us unsolicited, this was over our house, this was over the container port. So have I seen one in the sky myself? No, but I think the reports are just so overwhelming that they exist. They're all over. I think they're more concentrated on, I would say, near the water, like here. Friends of ours out in Tottenville have seen them over where the breakwaters are, out off the coast. As I say, we live relatively close to the water, not right on the water. We saw them it was seen last night. And then the first reports at Staten Island were over closer to the Goethals Bridge in the New York container port. So I don't know. Anybody have any other
No, I
reports?
think that's accurate. Some were spotted in Great Kills, maybe. But again, I agree with Vito. That's the same stuff that we're hearing. We saw one last night right around this area.
You saw one with your own eyes?
Tony saw it. He was pointing it out to me. The thing is, you can't, I personally...
We get told.
This is a national park. Yes, the Coast Guard operates out of here as well, which is why I'm concerned. But I don't believe that there's flight restrictions that are currently applied to this location.
And as the Congresswoman mentioned, there are time restrictions. And as I mentioned before, the law enforcement official that told me saw a bunch of drones, 10 in his count. It was about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
It starts coming closer and closer. I start seeing some lights.
We got the first one, it was a little over a week ago. But frankly, I've been aware of this situation since before Thanksgiving. And it's only escalated almost geometrically since then.
Okay.
And everybody here has got at least several, I'm sure, reports.
It was raining a couple of days, so I really didn't expect to see it, but right out that way.
It varies. I mean, the ones, when I first was told, they were basically in some singular flight pattern, almost following each other like aircraft fighters would, frankly. So, but there could be individual, the video that was sent to me this morning was one hovering above my house.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Vito.